Hello friends, welcome back again. In today's video, we'll quickly talk about creativity. Sometimes I think about what creativity even means, or how can I identify creative people. So these are some of the questions that I constantly keep thinking. And if you're also a person who have the same questions or similar questions uh, as I have, then you are watching the right video, because in this video I'll try to answer to some of the questions that we have on creativity. So when we talk about creativity is nothing but an ability to bring out original ideas, or in other words, to bring out authentic ideas and solve problems in a novel and unique ways. So let me put the definition of creativity that way. To understand creativity is simple. As the definition clearly says, it's nothing but an ability to uh, bring out your original sides, or it's whatever things that comes out of your mind is your original thoughts. It's your unfabricated thoughts and ideas that you bring out. So it starts that way. So it's not a big thing where creativity starts. So creativity starts in a very small level, in a very subjective level. So say, um, you start by identifying yourself. Then when you identify yourself, you try to bring out your original ideas, whether that idea sounds stupid or that idea sounds great. You just bring out the idea. So that's the thing. Creativity also have other side, that is problem solving. How do you solve the problem? That's the thing. So when we talk about problem solving comes with different levels of problem solving. So some problems would have like a structured or prepared problems. So let me put an example. When we have certain intelligence testing in psychology, then we use certain blocks, we use certain tools to test person's intelligence. So all these are arranged problems. So there are certain ways to solve the problem. So it's already arranged by somebody. So you just try to figure out, you just try to solve the problem which is already arranged. So this kind of problem can be solved by constantly doing. So we call it as trials and errors, right? So with trials and errors, you are going to solve things. You will learn, then you give a first try, then you meet with certain errors and you meet with certain difficulties. So from which you will learn, okay, this was the way where it went wrong. So you do it again, then certainly you learn things through trials and errors. Then comes with different types of problem solving again. So I would put it more like uh, logical problem solving. Let me put it that way. Logical problem solving would be something that is considered universally true. Let's say 2 plus 2 mathematically is 4. So nobody would say that it's 3. So when you say it's 3, it goes against the law of logic. So it's illogical. So your answer would be considered wrong. Why? Because 2 plus 2 mathematically it's 4. So how can we prove that 2 plus 2 would be 3 or 5? So it goes against logic. So something that has to do logical reasoning, something that has to do logical problem solving. So this kind of problems can be solved. Suppose if I say 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2, then 2 plus 2 is 4, 4 plus 2 is 6, 6 plus 2 is 8. It's simple, the answer is 8. So how do we find that kind of solution? How do we solve that kind of logical problems? Then how the way to solve those kind of logical problems is to use certainly the steps of logic. Like 2 plus 2, we find the connection between them, then we try to add them both, so everything goes in a sequence. Yes, I used the example of 2 plus 2 plus 2. 2 plus 2 plus 2, all the four twos are the let's say are the tools So you find the connection between them, and then at the end you find the correct answer. Or else 2 plus 2 plus 2, then you go against logic, then you remove 1 2, then it becomes 3 2s, so it'll be 6. The answer will never come out right. You put extra 2, which will never get it right. So the best way to solve this kind of problem is to find the link between them, or is to find the connection between them. So how do we put them together? So that's the thing. And when you do that, then you will always find a correct answer. So that is a simple way of solving logical problems. So that's the thing. The third thing, I think I should put it more like um, real-time problem or real-life problem. So when I say it's a real-life problem, another way of problem solving is real-life problem solving. So when I say real-life problem solving, it would be different from the uh, uh, trials and errors type of solving problem and logical way of solving problem. It would be quite different. Real life problem solving would be more like, how do you go along with the situations, how do you go along with when you meet certain situations, how do you solve problems. So those are the questions. So when we talk about that kind of solving problem solving, then it comes with, let's say it includes lots of crystallized intelligence. So it has to deal with crystallized intelligence, which means sometimes it comes with experience, sometimes it comes with you know it comes with more of a heuristic way of answering or finding things, solving things. So third, problem solving is quite unpredictable. In a sense, why it's unpredictable? Because it's a real life situation that you are dealing with. So with this kind of situation, this problem solving is something very interesting, because you dive into something that is unknown. You venture into something unknown, and therefore you kind of, to some extent, we are blind into the situation, blindly dive into the situation. Then you deal with the situation, and then it even makes life more interesting, because this kind of problem solving, it has to do with lots of struggles, and has to do with lots of has to go with lots of difficulties. So it even makes this kind of problem solving interesting. So that's about different types of problem solving. Now, there is a book called Thinking Fast and Slow. It's international bestseller book. So written by Daniel Kahneman. As I read this Thinking Fast and Slow, I learned a lot of things here. The basic, let me just summarize in in a line. Here, basically the book talks about suggested there are two different types of system in our brain. So the first system would require no efforts to think. So let's say if I ask you what's your age, then you know your age. So it would not require lots of thinking effort to remember what's your age or what's your name. So it does not require effort at all. But the other system requires lots of effort. If I say, 265 plus 924, then see, we cannot instantly answer to the question. It requires thinking, it requires effort, it requires, as I talk about, logical problem solving. We try to find connection. How do we put them together, add them together, then find the answer for that? So it talks about the second system deals with putting an effort, thinking, so which comes in. So when we talk about this, it so much helps, supports in understanding. It so much supplements to creativity. So as I said in the beginning, the definition of creativity, it's very simple to understand. There are also two types of thinking when we talk about problem solving again. Once again, leaning towards problem solving, there are two types of thinking that would come under problem solving. So the first thinking would be divergence, divergent thinking. So divergent thinking is nothing but it's kind of unusual, um, unusual, and let me put it like strange, like different way of thinking, right? So everybody says 4 plus 4 is 8. 4 plus 4 is 8. Then there would be a person who would say, who would not say no, but who would also say, no, 5 plus 3 is also 8. So everybody agrees towards one side. So he brings out unusual thinking. He brings out unusual ideas, but solves the problem correctly. So that is the divergent thinking. So the other thinking is convergent thinking. Convergent thinking is nothing less than logical problem solving. So bringing out the correct solution, not going against the law of logic. That is about convergent thinking. So put them together, convergent thinking, divergent thinking, then we'll understand what creativity, how creativity would come out of our thoughts, our thinking. So to wrap up this video, let me use an example. I go to class every day. I get assignment, I get project work, and then I get to write a test, I get to write exam. So sometimes I question myself, why am I trying to do, why am I trying to even put effort in learning? When I use this example, I'm not trying to uh, say, or I'm not trying to bring it out that I'm a creative person. Maybe not, or maybe yes. But this is what I honestly do. So when I write exam, or when I do anything, when I do any of the assignment or whichever works that I get that includes, that requires thinking, then whichever theories that I have to read, I go through, I study. But the next thing is that my goal is not to please my professors. My goal is not to look good before them by way of writing, and then by in exam writing the same thing that I've read or that I've learned from the explanation. Of course, I use them. I use them. Of course, I use what I read. Of course, I use what I learned from explanation. But the most important thing, or the ultimate goal of me reading or studying, is there is something in me that nobody knows. There is something in me. There is my own idea, authentic idea, unfabricated idea. So the idea is, how do I put it out? How do I solve those problems? How do I answer it novelly or differently? So that's the thing that I'm trying. So the goal here is not to please professors, but the goal of my education, the goal of my struggle of learning is to find what's inside of me, and how do I crystallize them? Um, how do I use them effectively? So that is the question. So let me put it this way: if my professors are a very good professors, or if your professors are a very good professors or teachers or your guide or your editor, so when you have this kind of people around you, you show your work, all right, to make sure that you get to become somebody creative, or you get to become a creative person, is you show your authentic work. Yeah, you show your, whether it be in an exam or not, with whatever ways that you have learned, bring all the ideas, right, uh, bring down all the segregated ideas, then bring them together, put it into your head, then you try to generate your own idea, you try to bring out your own idea. So to generate an idea, your unfabricated real idea, your original idea, is you lay down your works. So, ma'am, sir, or my dear professor, this is the work that I have. So this is my idea. So your good professor or your good editor or your good mentor would check, look on your work. Then the person would say, okay, after a thorough check, after a thorough look on your work, If the person is a good person, a real person, loving person, then the person would look, then after a thorough check would comment on your work. First thing, these are some of the reasons why your work looks stupid, and these are some of the reasons why your work looks messy. Right. So give out one negative side of your work, looking at your work. Then the next thing, but also these are some of the reasons why your work looks wise. These are some of the reasons why your work is good, and so and there is a possibility that your work can turn out even better. So that is the actual realistic comment that people who love you will give you, or your professors would give you. Then the next thing is that, okay, this is what I've received from my teacher. This is what I've received from a person who looked at my work. So I bring them together. So these are some of the stupid sides of my work. So do I have to filter the works? I mean, do I have to filter the negative sides of my works and then pick and then utilize those again, or do I have to completely throw it off? It's up to you. But you try to filter again and check on it if there can be any useful thing that can come out of it. The next thing, what you can do is look on the other side. Okay, my teacher said, my editor said, or my elder said, these are some of the works that my reasons why my works look good, and so these are pinpoint. So pick those things and then find a way how to make it even stronger, how to make your argument even stronger, how to make that particular strength of your work even stronger or even bigger. So try to bring more things in, and then try to expand that part of your work and then make it even better. So that's how creativity would come out from your work. So it's simple. Just bring in, show your authentic work. No need to fake things. No need to copy the theories work, because most of the time I found that most of the theories are nonsense, because it doesn't help at all. Right, because there are cultural differences, there are personality differences, there are thinking differences. So some theories are completely nonsense for you. And so what if you use the same theory and then work according to theory? It will never work. So learn from it, bring out your original ideas, bring it on the table, and then work out of it. So that's the way to identify, that's the way to start your creativeness. So that's how you can become a creative person. So that's one thing. When we look on Howard Gardner's multiple intelligence, there are lots of arguments when it comes to intelligence, but Howard Gardner intelligence, in his book The Frame of Mind, his argument is that humans' intelligence is not unitary, or not not it's not a unitary thing when it comes to intelligence. There is no such thing as a general factor or general intelligence that would determine all things. But when we talk about intelligence, there is a multiple factors or multiple ways of intelligence that, okay, let's say his argument is that if a person is good in logical problem solving, then a person can be good in the person can also be somewhere good in music, also musically can be good. A person can be good at different rooms of intelligence. So there is no particular factor that generates all that regulates all the intelligence. So Gardner's way of understanding intelligence is people are good. So somehow, to some extent, I agree with Gardner, because there are people Okay, you don't sing, but you can somehow make a sound, right? You cannot sing as beautiful as somebody, but you can somehow make a sound. You can somehow sing out, which means which means you are not actually very bad at that. You can at least do it. You can at least, which means if you put work on it, with experience, with work comes skills, then you can also be good at singing. So there is possibility factors that Gardner put in his arguments. That's one. Then the other way of understanding is it's interesting when we do multiple intelligence testing, or when we assess multiple intelligence test, we'll find out that the subject will never, if at least if the person is normal, then a person will never score zero in any of the category, which means it shows the possibility that a person can be good at something or some ways and can also be good at other ways. So there are possibility of learning, there are possibility of expanding, and so I would not actually believe, or I would not buy the idea that they are gifted person, naturally inborn gift that people are born with. There are possibilities that human beings have. That's why all these researchers and studies shows that that's a thing. And so I would end my video here. Creativity would not come out of anything. There are two type of people finally. One type of people is a person who has a capacity to learn 100 things and would hardly use 30 or 20 or 10 or whichever number. Cannot use much. That's one type of person. The other person, the second person, would not learn as 100, would hardly learn 10, 1 sometimes, or 20, cannot, don't, does not have the capacity, or does not even try to learn so many. But with whatever he or she learns, the person would always try to expand. So 100, out of 100, he learns 1. But out of that 1, the person would generate into 100 information or 100 ideas. So that's how people's creativity expands. So the best way to start our creativeness, or to be a creative person, is nothing but to be authentic, to understand self, and then bring out your original side. Sometimes our original idea looks stupid and sounds stupid, then never looks smart. But that's okay, bring it out, try to find a way out of it, keep improving, find your problems, then find your good sides, and then try to find a way out of it. So it's like your originality, your authenticity is a best way to come up with novel way of solving things, or creative way of solving things. So that is the foundation. So be real, be original. That's where you will start to become a creative person. So I'll end my video here. This book is highly recommended. You please read it, Thinking Fast and Slow. There are different theories, there are different ideas, and there are different perspectives of understanding creativity. So this is the end of the video. So we'll see you in the next video. Thank you all very much.